Sir, good evening, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Every day is a new day. Every day is a new opportunity. Every day is a new beginning. So utilize every day to become the spotlight of one day. Good evening, everyone. This is Ijan Davis, representing as the Head Students Coordinator of Ijan and Save Clubs, presenting here. Presenting to you SDG Index Report 2025, organized by the Institution of Green Engineers. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce you all to the Institution of Green Engineers. The Institution of Green Engineers is a non-profitable organization working towards energy sustainability through various sectors, with inclusion of projects, conferences, webinars, and many events as well. As we continue our remarkable journey in joining our hands together for a greener environment throughout the world, today we have gathered here for another special session from the Institution of Green Engineers. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you SDG Index Report 2025. Without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. John Wilfred Thomas to enlighten the virtual gathering with his welcoming address.
Good evening, all. A very pleasant evening to one and all present here. Myself, John Wilfred Thomas, representing as a volunteer in the Institution of Green Engineering. It takes an immense pleasure to welcome our beloved President, Dr. L. Ramesh, and our General Secretary, Dr. Hudson Egbert, and our greatest mentor and beloved Vice President, Dr. J. Balamurugan. And I would like to welcome our Secretary, Dr. Suresh Sitaraman, and last but not the least, and all the SDG Index Reporter 2025 to this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, John Wilfred Thomas, for enlightening the virtual gathering with your welcoming address. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to the next agenda, please allow me to introduce to you, as we move on to the continuation of this event, please allow me to introduce to you the Greenery President of the Institution of Green Engineers, presenting to you Professor and Dr. L. Ramesh to take forward the session with his marvelous moderation.
Thank you, Davish. It was a very good start. So very happy note that we all connected together. It is the Ijan family, both Ijan directors, Ijan project heads, all connected together for very kind and wonderful reporting of the SDG Sustainable Development Goal report. So there is two report normally will be published every year. One report, we call it as the Sustainable Development Report 2025, which is published in June. And there's another report particularly related to the goals, that is Sustainable Development Goals Report. Yes, it is published yesterday. So today we all are gathered here to have a very wonderful discussion on Sustainable Development Reports related to the country ranking, related to the continent ranking, related to the country performance. So how it was rated and what is the progress in between the last year and this year, this kind of discussions which we are planning to do. Why this is very essential now. So you all know that Sustainable Development Goal Initiative started in the year 2015 through the Paris Climate Agreement. The whole world together need to work for the sustainability, which come out with 16 goals. If you want to achieve the 16 goals, it is mandatory. We need to have the 17 goals. That is the partnership for the goals. So keeping in that mind, we all are working together. So without like a progress report for our school, our children's will have the ranking system, and there is a progress report will be there. There's the same model. There is an index report is there to check the performance of the country, to check the performance of the continents, to check the performance of the related to the different type of parameters. That is what the organization come together, and based on that, the major problem here is the data. So the presently what all the data are received, based on the data only this report is there. So here today what we are planning to do is the Sustainable Development Goal Report 2025. We are going to discuss this report in different angles. So what we are going to do, the first part, what we are going to do is the 2024 Sustainable Goals Report, which is going to have a conversation session by our Vice President Dr. J. Balamurugan and Dr. Suresh Sitaraman. He is the chairman of Hygiene Green Sustainability Partner Program. They are going to give you the essence of 2024 SDG Goals Report conversation. So once this what over, then we will have our dynamic hygiene project heads are there. The first it will initiate by SDG country ranking, the 2025 and the progress pitfalls and 5 years trends by Aijan Renuga Devi and Aijan Anju Qureshi. It continued by 167 country SDG Index Performance 2025, a comparative analysis insight by Aijan Ishrat Mishrana and Aijan Kavita. It continued by Continental SDG Index Trends for 2025 with retrospective insights by Aijan Tanuja, Aijan Anuradha and Aijan Mageshwari. It continued with the national commitment to SDG and UN-led multilateral initiative by Aijan Preeta and Aijan Rajeshwari. Finally, come to the country, our country performance, India Sustainable Development Goals Index Progress and Insights by Aijan Sakira and Aijan Lakshmi. So this is what the order of conversation. So today what we planned is like a conversation. It is not the monotonous discussion. Our experts are going to be having a conversation for that. So this SDG index report panel discussion here. So what it happened, this report bring together the experts, researchers, educators, community, where the world stands 10 years after the adaptation of Sustainable Development Goals. 2025, this year it is a 10th year celebration. This Sustainable Development Report is coordinated by SDSN, SDG Transformation Center, gives us the clearest global picture yet. There is no clearest picture. Why it is mentioning like that? Only 2 lakh data points are there taken for analysis. 200 plus country and regional profile, 50 international organization and national statistics officers involved in that. So with respect to the data, which maybe you all know that last couple of years data science is very much important. So once more data is there, there is a change in the report also. But based on the data, these reports are presented. So I'm going to give you the little lessons summary of the 2025 report. So we all are very happily working on SDG goals and assuming that to be achieved by 2030. But the report states that only 17% of SDG targets are on track to achieve by 2030. 169 targets are there. Out of 169 target, only 17%, 17. It is very, very pathetic situation for us. So how very dead slow it is going on, and there is no single goal is fully achieved at present. There is no single goal is fully achieved. Goal number 2 on hunger, goal number 11 on sustainable cities and communities, life below water, 14 life on land, and peace and justice are especially off track. And because of, you all know that because of COVID 5 years, there is a lag in this SDG thing. And some interesting data are here. That is the East and South Asia are the best performing region, with countries like Nepal, Peru and Saudi Arabia faster than average improvement when compared with last. Finland tops the 2025 SDG index with a score of 87, followed by Sweden and Denmark, demonstrating that Europe remaining a leader in SDG achievement. However, this leading phase, especially in climate action, biodiversity, and shifting unsustainable consumption pattern. Because of these parameters, 3 are the key parameters why this countries are in top. At the other end, the country, the Central African Republic, Somalia, Yemen, Southern Sudan, they are in the very lowest rank, STG, due to the couple of reasons. Happy note that India is ranked 99th in 2025 index, while China has reached the top 50. So this is the key ranking and insights. And regarding the financial part, the July 30 to August 2025, there is a 4th international conference on financing for development. We call it as FFD4. It is happening. So there a lot of people are going to talk about the financial, how we can able to go for financial annual budgeting. So the budgeting is the big problem, how we can able to spend that budget. So the annual UN budget stands at only US 46 billion US dollar compared to US 2.5 trillion spent worldwide on the military in 2023. So when compared with that, the finance is the major problem, which the report states that. Because the report states that we need to focus more for the funding. What message we need to take it forward is the full funding we need to give for the UN systems, technological innovations, AI, clean energy, green finance to close the SDG gap. These are all the given. And okay, so the report declare that is a jubilee year of hope. And if we act together, what it means act together, it states that so the all country has to act, all continent has to act, individual organization has to act, academic institution has to act, industry has to act, NGO has to act, and finally individual performance, individual change has to be done. So this individual change in the individual is very, very important for achieving the sustainable development goal. So that is what the that is the reason IGEN is taking a lot of initiative. So we come out with a project called IGEN STG projects. So this STG projects, presently we have 5 to 6 projects are going on. That is IGEN Energy Double Line Challenge, IGEN Talk for STG, IGEN Cycle for Green, IGEN Zero to Hero, IGEN Water Bank, IGEN minus CO2. These all projects, why we had come out with this project is to motivate the students community, motivate the academic community, industry community to select their favorite goal. Once they select the favorite goal, then they need to go for next level of activities. So in this individual act for individual only, the IGEN is taking very seriously. So this is what the essence of the report. And I am very happy to welcome now Dr. J. Balamurugan, Vice President of IGEN, and Dr. Suresh Sitaraman for the first conversation session on 2024 SDG goals report. Welcome, Dr. Bala and Suresh, sir.
Thank you, sir. It is a wonderful report, and it's a great opportunity, and it is one more milestone for IGEN that we are working on with the SDG goals, so that we have completed almost 9 years, and but still we need to travel all along to 2030. So in this scenario, we just want to push out a lot of information to the community. So that is very much important, and it is also essential, and it is mandate for IGEN to push it to the entire world. So because we are committed to work on it. So good evening to all distinguished guests, all panelists, audience who are watching worldwide through IGEN Plus YouTube channel and other partners. I take pride and privilege in delivering the remarks of the SDG 2024 report. So that is which has given a very good information on it. So we just don't want to read out the statement that is available on the report, but we just want to have what kind of report that has been there, and why not we have a conversation sort of thing that we need to encourage the people to understand it, so that why I need to be as an individual, why I need to be the part of this goals. So life on this planet is interconnected. Nothing is isolated. And everything has an impact on everything else. With concerns about climatic change looming and becoming more immediate, we need to understand how our environment and health are connected. So human tendency has always been to educate our surroundings. We take pleasure in conquering and reshaping our environment as though it is beneath us and we are supreme. However, the simple truth is that the humans are as dependent upon environment as many other animals on the planet for our continued well-being. Therefore, we harm our environment, we harm ourselves. So that means to say that the environmental is polluted. We always concerned about the human alone. So we also have an ecosystem. Ecology is consisting of plants and animals. So that is very much important. And going about this conversation, so SDG 2024 report. So there are a lot of information that is being communicated, and President has also given an input saying that there are 17 goals, but the pathetic situation is something like it is going to give you a big picture of what is the report is going to be communicated. Right now, I could see that only 17% of SDG targets are currently on track. So that means to say there are 17 goals, but there are 169 targets. So in that target, only 17% of SDG targets are currently on track, and while over a third have actually stalled or regress due to the pandemic conflicts and climatic crisis. Because so people need to understand, after 2015 MDG goals, we were given the SDG goals, but right now we need to complete it before 2030. So that means to say 17% means it's hardly 80% to go about. Means if 80% is completed, that is okay, but the only 17%, not even 20% has reached the end mass. So now I request Suresh to continue it so that we could understand what is all about the report. Suresh sir, Dr. Suresh.
Yes. Well said, Bala. I'm very happy to be a part of this. I hope we can hear you.
Suresh
Right?
sir, can you please switch on the video, sir?
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
like a conversation, so it is you to be there.
One second, sir. Since I'm on the wheels now, my battery is very low, very poor. I'm sorry. Let me try to switch on, but unfortunately, if my battery is going down, I have to switch off the video, sir.
Okay. No
For the
issues.
want of initially, I will come in the 1 second. I'll just try to come in the video. 1 second. Anyway.
Yes.
Hello.
No, you
Bala?
can switch off. Yeah, it's good, but your bandwidth seems to be low. So instead, you can switch off your video and come with audio itself. That's very
Yes,
great.
that's what
Okay, sure. Please go ahead.
I don't know. So now looking to the summary, shocked. When one is talking about the SDGs, now India is also taking a very good initiative, and even in implementing, particularly
Suresh, actually, your voice is breaking. Sorry, Suresh, your voice is breaking. Continue with your audio itself. Yes.
Okay, now it's okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Please go ahead.
Please, yeah. So I was very shocked with that. No, while go through that 2024 summary, as you said, well said. No, we are targeting on 169 targets, and the entire team of people is working towards that. But still, we couldn't able to achieve in 2024. Now yet 5 more years is there as we want to reach the target. Unfortunately, we have not touched any out of 17 goals. We have not touched a few areas. No, the main the main motto behind this is that is the teamwork, and every individual, those who are just watching this video either by YouTube or in the live, they have to understand the importance of SDG, and then we have to put together to know to understand more, being an academician or being an industrial people or being a political people or even good administrators or bureaucrats or maybe they have to take care of all those things, and we have to bring it in the right way. As well said, you were taken. So building on that, Bala, over your conversation, I would extremely like to say that poverty is again one of the biggest thing which I was looking to that in that report, which had been declining for decades. Rose of the first time in 2020, pushing the total 720 12 million people living in the extreme poverty in 2022. Am I right? So we have to take care of that. We have to take care of that, and how we are going to give a solution for to entire or to eradicate or to reduce this poverty level. So, what is your idea and opinion on that, Bala?
Yeah, you rightly pointed out. So the goal number one, it is about no poverty. So the people think that no poverty means the poverty has been eradicated, but still we could understand from the document that it is a 712 million, as you said, it is 712 million people living in extreme poverty in 2022. Whether it has reduced or it is increased means no, the pace has been continually progressing. And so we could see that an estimated population of 590 million people still starving for food, and that's nearly 7% of the global population, and still it is going to continue for 2030. Means I don't think that the people would be living in this planet, as people are looking forward for other planets to be a living area or living habitat. But I don't think that our people who are living in the earth, whether due to they need to die due to starvation, so we need to work on, so we need to think about it. The data gives a more insight of such things. Suresh, you can give an insight of how things are going ahead with other goals also.
Yeah. Rightly said. No, it's like an alarming signal. I would like to see from that. 590 million people. That's nearly 7% of the global population. So 1.4 million children are globally still lack of some social protection coverage also on the other side. One, we are talking about the poverty. Next, we have to think on the social protection to the, particularly I'm talking about the young children. So leaving them vulnerable to the to shock like an economic crisis or other disorders. We have to concentrate on this particular area. Like it's like an alarming signal for everybody. The social protection for the young children, like almost 1.4 billion children globally are still lack of this global societal protection. I think about. What is your
Yes.
thought about
Yes,
that? Right?
you rightly said. We are working for the future. The future is our children. So we are saving it for our children. But if we are not giving back to the society, our children should be put up in disaster situation. So that's what you've been telling. That is 1.4 billion children globally still lack social protection coverage. Means then again it is a crisis. It is a global crisis. So turning to hunger, around 733 million people globally go hungry, and 2.33 billion face moderate to severe food insecurity. That's about 1 in 4 people worldwide. That is so pathetic. So that means to say that people doesn't go with the food. So even for one time or two time, where people think that what I need to do to reduce my obesity or regularly go for walk and other thing means good health and well-being would be coming. But the basic communities for the kids itself, it's not been given. Means this need to be addressed. So we need to connect. It's not for an individual. So we think that we are the people eating up, and we are thinking that we are having good health, but we also need to equally think that we need to give back to the society after eating. Not that going by walk, but we need to walk around to spend some time to save these kids. So it is not about poverty alone. It is the social status of every individual. So that is very much important. So you can also put forth the same idea. Yes, Suresh.
Well said, Bala. Well said, actually. No, we are only picking about the line one side on disaster side management, or other side where we are talking about economical crisis and everything. But one point is very critically shocked when we're looking through and gone through this report. As I said earlier, the social protection and whatnot. The next I would like to share one key point that for the children's crisis even more severe for the children's exclusively 148 million children under 5. It was there in the it was the crisp content which have been taken from the report, right? 148 million children under 5 are still stunned, and even if they do better, we have to act fast. 1 in 5 children could still suffering, and the report says that what is going to be the nearly future in 2030? It is like a question mark, and how we people are going to answer for this, and who is going to take the responsibility? and what it could be the solution, and what the solutions as academician or as a researcher or and even a government we are going
Yeah,
to
you
focus on that.
rightly pointed out, because the kids are the future means, so this is something very realistic data that has been thrown on this document, but the document doesn't reach the end user means before 2030. So we would have all the people there starving for everything and anything and everything. The future would be also starving. But one positive note is from the report is that under 5, that is under age 5, child mortality has reached a historic low of 4.9 million deaths in 2022, but we risk losing 35 million more children by 2030 if the decline doesn't accelerate. So that means to say that the decline doesn't accelerate means we need to accelerate our own thought process of protecting our child healthiness. So it's about the nutritious food that need to be given so that this mortality rate is reduced. So
Yeah, that was
this need
one
to be
good point,
addressed.
Bala. Yes. That was one
Yes.
good point you were just talking about. I was sorry to interrupt with you, right? The point which you touch is very, it's again a critical thing that we have to think about. Equally concentrating on maternal health, like globally the maternal health mortality remains over 3 times higher than 2030 target. We have targeted something, but it's globally increasing 3 times. With a wide gaps. There is a very big gap for the target fixed and what we achieved as of now. How this is what every people, the public, common public, those who are watching our board, maybe we have to think about between high and low income regions and how we are going to concentrate on this.
Yes, the
Particularly, I'm
goal
talking about
number.
the
Yes,
maternal
you're
health and
right.
global maternal
You
standards.
are right in pointing out that data, Suresh. Actually, we talk about gender equality. So the people are thinking about it is male versus female, but she is the only one. So we call our Earth as female because so she is the connectivity for the future. So the mortality rates, the maternal mortality rates when giving birth to a child, so she would go off the earth. So that means to say it is so what to say, it's a menace. We are killing people in other way around. But when she need to have a good healthiness and good medications, so this mortality rate can be reduced. So in such case, the report gives over 3 times higher than the 2030 target, but we need to work on it. So this challenge is something like we need to work on for the higher healthiness. But even when reading this Indian scenario, so we have a good positive note with the health department where we are working on with a lot of information. Gender equality is one part, means good health and well-being. We have a good positive note. Adding to this challenge is something like a COVID-19 pandemic erased nearly a decade of progress in life expectancy. So like when it was something like our health department and other people are working towards bringing up the age limit to 75, nearing the 75. But this COVID has brought entirely to a standstill position by dropping the global average from 73.1 years to 71.4 years by 2021. So that is 10 years again. It was something like we need to work on with this expectancy. So life expectancy.
Yeah. That was a great. Even today, you think of that the half of the world population. Still, do you feel that they are having a good health or they are secured with a good, protection or whatever you want? So what the report is saying that half of the world populations are still lack to access even a basic health services. Leaving 4.5 billion people with adequate care. Am I right? So
Yes,
this is
yes.
what the thing, and we have to take care of this also. So when SDG, we are talking about SDG 17, as rightly said by the president, only 17% has been crossed, and we have I feel that we have very big gap in taking care of this health services or poverty, or like as goal number 1 says, and goal number 3 we are talking about. I think we are not at a concentrated on that. Am I right?
Yes, yes, yes. Because the world entirely thinks about India and China only. So India has a positive note that health and other care has been increased. But comparatively with other part of the world, India is ahead. But still, we need to think about the global population where the health care seems to be very much important, and we need to work on it. But the financially, when we talk about such things, this lead to the hardship. The share of people facing catastrophic health costs has grown, forcing 44 million people into deeper poverty due to health expenses. So on a daily basis, when a kid is growing, so it's not only the school fees that need to be taken care, but the medical expenses seems to be very high. And the people having several diseases, it's not even known or it is not been listed out. So that means to say several diseases are coming because of this global warming. So SDG goals talks about such things, means it is not about the carbon neutrality alone, but we need to think about the health conditions where this carbon emission has made people to extinct. So we need to reduce it. So why we are talking about and why hygiene is talking about such things means it is not that we are talking about the green, but we need to make a phased out manner that everyone need to have a good health and well-being through hygiene.
I feel that definitely, Bala, this is one of the great eye-opening session. No, everybody couldn't be able to read that big report, no, which has been consolidated right now, and we want to concentrate on this particular point. Like, I want to take one more. What about the inequality point of view? No, even in inequality, as shows no, as shows up to the livelihood. For example, a woman laid a small scale food producers earn less than 70% of what men has earned. No, there is a gender equality which also is reported in this. I mean, the SDG reports. Despite of the crucial role in food systems, but that is we can able to witness 70% of inequality as well as when compared to men and women. Can you
Yes.
can you show some insight on that?
Yeah, the partiality has been there. So because earlier women were deprived of such things and they were not taken into a good jobs. So even in Tamil Nadu, that was a challenge thing. And when people stalwarts came and the women folks are good enough to explore much of the IT department and other department. Right now, we have a good number of earnings. So in Tamil Nadu, we could see that the women are earning more than the men, but the global
Of course, we
population.
cannot able to take only Tamil Nadu. No, I am talking about global. I am talking
Yeah,
about India,
yeah,
whole
yeah.
India.
I'm just putting up an information that the statistics says that because of IT, it has given an earning, but IT alone can't. It's about the global planning. So it's something like every individual who are living in their area, they need to have a livelihood connected to it, and all the women are the source of income. So continued with Russia and other things. So people in what to say, in Western countries, they have equal education, but they don't seem to have a good salary package. So that's what been
I
you
know,
are
we are.
talking. Yeah, so but we need to think about the food systems. So when they are feeding the people, feeding the kids, we need to understand that the kids need to be fed with the food. So in
Yeah,
such case, women need to have more earnings. So that is going to be a good information. Means, but we need to also think about the food systems have climatic changes. Due to climatic changes,
yeah, that's
the
what,
food.
Bala. That's what I want to insist. No,
Yeah.
we are talking about inequality. We are talking about poverty. We are talking about inequality between men and women, and all those goals has been covered. The one important goal is like climate action. No. So
Yes.
how do you what is the statistics saying about, and what
Yeah.
kind of
So.
alert we have to take on it?
Yeah, the statistics say a different scenario, but the climatic Paris Agreement, which talks about 1.5 degree, it is something like it is a menace that all these icebergs are melting down, and we could see that 2023 was the warmest year ever recorded. So pathetic, with global temperatures nearing a criticality like 1.5 degree Paris limit. So that means to say, if this is in a rising stage, the entire earth would be filled with water. So that means to say we need to go with skipping down all the goals, and we need to go ahead with living below the water, so life below water. So that means to say it is it is not a joke, but we need to think about how we are going to have a livelihood in this earth. So that is very much important. So
Yeah, yeah. as you said, no, natural disaster continues to be a devastate, to devastate economics, right? From
Yes.
from 2015 to 2022, if you take disasters as
Eaten up
disasters
all
has
the resources. Yes.
that the disaster has cost almost $115 billion in the annual economical losses. So this was a report actually from 2015 to 2022. Within this couple of 7 years, almost now 115 billion dollars is a loss as an economical loss. So with
Yeah.
this, with the poorest country, which hit the hardest, I would like to say, we have to take care of the climate action also. So
Yes.
everybody, this should be seated in the mind of young students as well as the researchers, even the industry. We are talking about industry. Government has taken more initiative in controlling the carbon credentials and whatnot. But still, why this number is very much high, no?
Yeah, yeah. You rightly pointed out because the people who are very poor, they don't have a livelihood or habitat inside the city, but they would be living all along the rivers and other pastoral society. But whenever this global warming industrialization is going to push this carbon level, then it is going to be a disaster which is going to have all sort of tsunamis and other things which should be killing the poorest of the poorest only. So you rightly said 2015 to 2022, there were a lot of disasters. We could name even the whatever cyclones coming up, they have a name, but it is not the embarking the name of this cyclone, but we need to embark that this is going to make the economic losses. So rightly said, it is an annual economic loss has increased to 115 billion means it is the largest economy that is going to be eaten up. Building the resource itself, it is going to be a tougher job, but erasing it within a minute seems to be very tough. Meanwhile, the data gaps are slowed down, and we could see that only 65% of the countries have fully funded national statistics plans to track SDG progress effectively. So the tracking seems to be, the report gives a lot of information, but 65% of the countries means there are recognized countries, 169 to 150 countries are there, which is connected with the UN Economic Forum. But still, this statistical society doesn't have a track of it. We are talking about data analytics and other things. We don't seem to be connected with all these countries. So you need to put forth a data with all such economics too, Suresh.
Yeah, of course. Adding on that, the food security, is deeply linked with investment, included investment. Am I right? So
Yes.
global spending on agriculture is reached almost $745 billion in 2022. But hungry rate and the food price stocks, we couldn't able to compare these two things. Am I right? Food security, when you're talking about global spending on agriculture, is $749 billion.
Yes.
But the hungry rate and food price is getting shocked, right?
Yeah, that was people like living in the seashore and other things, they starve for this food. But we could see that the people living nearby the riverside, they could give more grains and other things, but it could not reduce the price of the food. So that is what you are talking about. Price reduction is very much important. Affordability, it is about the sustainability, the other part we are talking about.
Affordability.
But affordability is not there, you rightly said. But we need to think about the small scale food producers. So they are the key for it, because we are growing fruits in our home, means it's the circular economy that we have, yet they earn less than half the income of larger producers, even though they sustain local food systems. So that means to say that they need to earn more, but they are earning less than comparatively with the other food chains. So the storage and other things are need to be enhanced. So this point seems to be very much important. Food security means perishable goods are there. So vegetables and fruits are going to be perishing within a day or two, means we need to go with the technology. The technology goes with empowering power means, but again the carbon seems to be a tougher job. But all this need to be tackled means you need to give a positive note with such data, Suresh.
Well said, Bala. On a positive note, a good data coverage for SDG indicators has been doubled. Am I right?
Yes.
Has been doubled. The SDG indicators has been doubled in 2016, right?
Yes.
For one third of 68% today, when compared to 2016. So, but the gaps remain same, right? Especially for the gender as well as the climatic data or whatever you take.
Yeah, SDG indicators is a good thing where it is going to be an indexing information throughout the world. So it is 68% today means it's one third of the 68% means the SDG indicator need to have a lot of connectivity with all such goals. But we seems to be working with the gender and the climatic data means the large gap exists. So we need to work on with the data analytics. So more countries have now share open data because sharing the data itself, it seems to be a threat. Some of the people will be thinking about, but we need to. It is a positive note that they have come up with open sharing of the data, with the global open data scores rising from 44 in 2017 to 55 in 2022. But effectively, data usage still lacks. So that means to say, AI or generative AI is going to be the technology part, but giving the original data is very much important. We beg the pardon to share all the countries with the open data. So openness should be there. So that means to say every country need to join this noble cause to give a solidarity as well as peace as well as something which is need of the hour. Means you can put forth the information. So why we are reading out this data means it is something like we need to have complete this by 2030. So please give me a closing remark by saying such things, Suresh.
Yeah. Nah, that was a very good conversation. We just crossed everything, like no, right from the SDG one, goal number 1 to no, almost everything. But where is the gap? How we want to fill that and everything. As a closing report, right? It's very clear that no world is urgently need peace, solidarity, and massive investments to rescue the massive investment in order to rescue no SDG by 2030. So we have to take utmost care in terms of with the food, with the energy, with the digital assets, and generate a general equality at the heart of it. So SDG has to taken care and it should be implemented. Now also it has been implemented, but people are yet to know more about it, and it should be very serious thing. And everybody has taken, either academicians or researchers or industrialists or any individuals, I say, has to take care of on that. And we have to closely work on food, energy, digital assets, and gender equality. So I hope that was a very good report generated, and that was a very good conversation. Thank you for the entire team for giving me the opportunity. Bala, you have taken a very good this
Yes.
conversation is very
Yeah.
it's
So
a healthy
we have
conversation.
covered the
I feel that.
entire report too. So it was a good conversations and it's a give and take information. So although we have given some of the points, the more data seems to be integrated, the openness is there right now. So at least today, iGen Enviratan has opened it, and people would be reading out this data. So it would be shared through YouTube itself. So you can download it and you can also get the data. So to connect more such information, this Enviratan is an eye opener for each and every individual. So there are a lot of events there. So we request all the people to join together for this global connectivity by 2030. Means it's not that we have another 5 years to go about, but it is a need. We urge the people to connect today itself. By tomorrow we need to work on with the principal matter. We need to understand the information. So this event has brought a change to the society. I hope so. This 15 to 20 minutes, what we have discussed, would give you a positive information to all the society. Thank you so much, Suresh. Thank you so much, all the participants as well as the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala. It was very nice conversation by Bala.
Bala.
Yes. Okay, it was very nice conversation because before we are going to start 2025, yes, Suresh.
Sorry, no, thank you.
Okay. So before going to start 2025, we must aware of 2024 what it happened. That is what the first conversation which we had. So before going to the session, I would like to invite all the experts speakers to switch on the video. Bala too, so that you will have your photo. Then we can start. I request all the speakers, Ishrat ma'am, Sagira ma'am, Tanuja ma'am, Preeta ma'am. All the speakers.
Sir, my video is disabled.
Let me try to.
It is disabled by the host. Yeah.
Now okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm yes.
Super, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Bala. Thank you, Bala, and thank you, Suresh. It was a very nice start. You rightly pointed out a lot of data. It finally states that very urgent action is needed. The action, it means that the finance is very much needed, because the finance flow only they make it possible to happen all. Lot of data also states that it is good to states that when compare with 2016 to now, there is a in the data which we received is it is doubled. That is what the statement says from Bala and Suresh. And the what is the urgent need is the peace investment is needed, particularly for food, energy, digital access, gender equality. This all investment is needed, and the particularly the low income countries. The whole world has to focus more, and the best practice to be followed for the middle income countries by the maybe you know that the top 10 countries belongs to Europe. So that best practice to be followed by the next level of countries. So that is what we can able to achieve the SDGs. And now we go for the session. So I am very happy to welcome our first session, SDG Country Ranking 2025, Progress, Pitfall and 5-year Trends, so which is going to be given by Engineer B. Renuka Devi ma'am. He is the head for IGEN Talk for SDG and Professor at Sri Sai Ram Engineering College. And I am very happy to welcome Dr. Ishrat Meera Mishrana ma'am, head for IGEN Environthon 2025 and professor at Mufakan Jha College of Engineering and Technology. So very happily welcome, ma'am. So you can initiate your conversation.
So along with Renuka ma'am, Anju ma'am is there, sir.
Thank you, Ramesh sir, President IGEN, and thank you all, governors.
Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry. Welcome.
Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I thank President for.
Just a minute, ma'am. So I'm sorry. I'm like to welcome Dr. Anjum Kusheri, ma'am, head of IGEN Talk for STG, and he's the professor at Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering, Research and Technology. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you, IGEN President and all governors for giving us Anju ma'am and Renuka ma'am for this greatest opportunity. So let us start with the country ranking analysis. So welcome to the special segment of our SDG Insights. Today we'll explore the 2025 SDG index rankings and reflect on global and regional progress over the past 5 years. Anjum, ma'am, thanks for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So yes, so we have the progress and performances of the top 10 countries this year. So most familiar names, we have the European nations dominated here. So it was Finland, then followed by Sweden, Denmark, then Germany, and then France and Austria, Norway and Croatia and Poland and Czech. So what do you think? What stands out about their performances, Anju ma'am?
So, yes, thank you, Renuka ma'am. And I think these countries have long invested in public health, education, infrastructure, and gender equality. For example, if you talk about Finland and Sweden, their consistent score has been 85 out of 100 on the SDG index. However, over the last few years, if you see that we have observed a slowdown in momentum, especially for the environmental and consumption-related goals. And the progress, it indicates progress is evident, but still sustaining it is becoming harder. So, what do you think, Renuka ma'am?
Yes, I think we can go with the region-wise strengths, analyze
Yeah.
the strengths and challenges. So, analyzing the strength region-wise, Europe is clearly leading, as we stated in the top 10 countries. So, but what about the other happening across other continents, ma'am?
Yes, of course, ma'am. As you said, Europe, its strength is excellent, especially regarding healthcare, gender equality, that is SDG 5, and quality education, SDG 4, and the green energy, SDG 7. So, strengths are high quality education, the universal healthcare, then the climate targets, they're all contributing to Europe's leading position in the SDG progress. Whereas if we talk about the challenges, yes, challenges are there. That is regarding its responsible consumption and production, that is SDG 12, climate adaptation, SDG 13, and biodiversity, that is SDG 15. And biodiversity loss due to urbanization, it is one of the significant challenges for sustainable development in these regions. If we talk about East Asia, so in here the strengths are strong infrastructure and industrial innovation, that is SDG 9, and digital literacy and universal health coverage. The challenges for East Asia are air pollution, waste generation, and over dependence on the fossil fuels that is affecting SDG 11 and SDG 13. So here we can say there is a strong need to switch over to the renewable energy sources or the clean energy sources that we are talking about. Then, if we talk about sub-Saharan Africa, so here, if we see the strengths of the community-led improvements in water SDG 6 and the mobile connectivity, though we are talking of connecting everything to online, but there are many countries which do not have connection to the internet itself. Then challenges are persistent poverty, food insecurity, and access to education, quality education, SDG 4, that is very, very important. And then widespread poverty, it remains a very critical issue. A significant portion of the population is living in poverty. It is affecting the overall development efforts. The climate vulnerabilities are increasing. The regions are facing significant climate-related challenges, which are actually increasing the existing socioeconomic issues. The healthcare access is limited in these regions, and many regions are still struggling with inadequate in healthcare services and.
So in regions considering this Latin America and Caribbean, they have their strength in SDG 11. So because of the urban planning and social protection schemes, they topped in the SDG 11. So Costa Rica, then Uruguay, then Chile, they exhibit the notable strengths in the education, then health, and also in the renewable energy. So they have their challenges in the SDG goal number 10 and also in 16. So rising inequality and institutional stability, their regional weakness includes the issues related to the violence and political instability. They lag in this SDG 10 and SDG 16. So considering the region in the Middle East and North Africa, so they have their strengths in infrastructure development and also in the clean energy investments. So when considering this thing, so infrastructure is in investments in infrastructure and then economic reforms in the countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, then UAE. So they have their positions as leaders in this Middle East and North Africa region. So they do have some challenges. So they have their challenges in the gender equality as they have and also they have no water, so water scarcity in SDG 6, and also peace related goals also there. So SDG 16, they have their challenges to come on. So ongoing the conflicts and also the environmental issues. So they have their significant challenges in the Middle East and the North Africa region. So they have their threats also. So some geopolitical tensions, the climate change impacts also hinder their progress in this region. So that's the greatest threat they have, MNEA. So I think we have the conversations over different regions and their
Yes, ma'am.
other thing. So India has also made some a remarkable leap in this 2025. So now I think, as rightly pointed by President Aijen, so India is ranked 99th, so entering into top 100 globally. So up from last 2022, it was 121, and this time we have grown up to the top 100, and it was 99th position. So what's driving this improvement, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am, really, that is a very good point for discussion. Because yes, if we talk about India, as you said, the rank is improving. And it is very encouraging for us to hear all this. Because India's SDG index score has risen to nearly 67, and thanks to the different kind of program, the digital public infrastructure, and the renewable energy goals. So if we talk about the India's key progress areas, so first is if we talk about the clean water and sanitation, when nearly 99.2% of the rural households have now access to improved drinking water. The missions like the Swachh Bharat mission has led to a widespread toilet coverage. Then universal electrification, that is another project by the government, due to which over 96% of the households have access to clean and cooking fuel. Then if we talk about good health, that is the maternal mortality rate has dropped to 97 per 1 lakh in India, and 93% of the children get immunized. Then 97% institutional deliveries have started, and I have worked closely on this project with UNICEF, and we have seen how it was difficult to actually convince people to go for institutional deliveries. And then widespread internet mobile penetration, we can now see more than the number of people we have mobiles over here. And yes, these are some of the reasons and yes, the most important one, the growth of UPI and the digital services, because nowadays we have gone cashless. So
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Over to
I
you.
think UPI payments and digital services has greatly improved, and so we are improving in SDG 9, so infrastructure innovation. And where is India lagging? Do you think any lagging or any places where we lagging in, Anjuman?
Yes, of course, ma'am. Yes, if we talk about where the India is lagging, yes, as I told, some of the areas which we have improved a lot, but still we have a long way to go, we can say, because challenges are always there. So, firstly, we can say, if we talk about SDG number 2, that is zero hunger. So, yes, agriculture productivity has increased in our country, but it is uneven across the states. There are some states who are enjoying a lot of prosperity, but there are others. Like even in Maharashtra, you can see farmer suicide is very common in Maharashtra, and that too, Vidarbha is the largest farmer suicides are being reported from there. Then undernourishment and child stunting, though it has decreased in the past few years due to the working of due to collaboration of the government with other NGOs, but still it is there. Then
I
gender
think due to
equality,
the
because
overpopulation and some part we have people over middle class, upper class, and that kind of classifications.
yes, yes.
Overpopulation is also one of the factor, I think.
Yeah, due to the poverty, though they know, though there is awareness that what you should be eating. Like we people, when someone says, okay, eat this, you will be getting carbohydrate, you will be getting protein, and we start doing it. But those people, although they may be getting some kind of awareness, but they are not able to afford it. So that
Yeah.
is again a problem with that.
Undernutrition.
Then,
Yeah.
yeah. And the next was of gender equality. If we can see limited representation of the women in leadership roles. Well, there are a number of reasons. One of the safety concerns we can say, and the other is leadership roles. Like if you just compare now, like you can see so many females. If we are in the education field, we can say there are many women working as teachers in the schools, but in the colleges, the number of females will be less. And that was the leadership roles like deans and directors will be finding very few people. Then there are few more inequalities besides the gender inequality, like regional caste-based and digital device still they are affecting the access to education. And climate action, heat waves, Chandrapur is almost many of the times it has been listed as the hottest city, I can say. and there are heat waves, floods, and the climate, we can say it has just gone. We cannot see like what kind of climate we can be having. In May, it started raining suddenly. So the climate change is there something which should not be controlled. But I think that we need more research on it. We need to give it a priority.
So India's journey is on the rise, but systematic issues must be addressed for getting the deeper impact, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So way forward to 2030, we'll see.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, of course. We can say if we talk about 2030, we have only 5 years left to reach the 2030 goals. So what we have to do at this time, or even the other nations, because we have to firstly prioritize local level SDG implementation, which is very, very important. We have to strengthen the climate resilience and adaptation, especially for SDG 13, that is climate change. And then we have to improve data tracking for rural, marginalized, and tribal areas, because insufficient data or incapability to have data to do the analysis and monitor this progress, it is a very big challenge in each and every SDG. Because if you see in some of the countries, data for some SDGs is not at all available. Then we have to promote inclusive digital and economic participation, especially for the women and youth. So, ma'am, do you have?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
hope you can add to it.
Yeah, I think as rightly pointed by our hygiene board of director, Balamurugan sir. So this year it was the greatest heat wave we have addressed due to the climatic resilience and things. So India in particular must scale up gender responsiveness policies, and also we have to reform our agriculture for food security and expand green urban infrastructure. Then empowering the local governance bodies to monitor this SDG indicators will greatly help, I think.
Yes, ma'am, surely. And as we are talking, like we see the rankings and
Ma'am,
the
can you,
discussion.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you little brief on the ranking based discussion, ma'am? Because for example, how it was comparatively see, there is a three part of ranking. One is the top level ranking,
Yes.
second is the medium level ranking, and the last level ranking. How any kind of discussion is there, like last 2-3 years, and now how it was improved, performed, ma'am? Overall, which I am talking about. Let us example in the ranking there it states that out of 20 first 20 ranking, 19 rank from the European countries only. So this is
Yes, sir.
one very good thing, but at the same time, why it is like that? So the and the same always this 20 ranking only coming in between that 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3 always last 3-4 years shuffle together. So
Yes, sir.
this kind of so some countries doing performance is very good, and some country needed the support from all the other, and how the last 2 years or 3 years the performance change is there. Like one change you already pointed out, our country India in the change and China in number 50. So these two is the major change when compared, and some more changes is there that also you can discuss.
Yes, sir. So for the
Yes, sir.
European countries being in the top always, they have the high quality education, and also they have universal healthcare systems, and also they are very keen in climatic targets. So these are the various areas that they had the greatest strengths actually. So European people, why they still persist in the top nations, top 10 to 20 nations. So on the East and South Asia, so they have their sustainable tourism growth strategy we have to follow. So they also have impressive gains in poverty reduction. So the regions have significant progress in reducing the poverty levels can help. And there are also challenges in urban rural inequality. Then climate risks also impacting their development. So these kind of things need to be addressed in the areas of East and South Asia so that they can come up in the region of highest level in the top rankings of 100 before 1 to 20 they can come in East and South Asia.
Yes, ma'am. I think you can conclude, ma'am. Then we can go for the next.
Okay, sir. So thank you. I think we have given the equitable and inclusive sustainable reports. And thank you, Anju ma'am. So let's keep tracking this progress and ensure the road to 2030 leaves no one behind.
Thank you very much. And I would just like to end up with saying that the rankings that we are having that are not actually the destination. It actually gives us a motivation that we need to improve. Like you even pointed about why some countries are lagging behind and why some countries are improving their rank. We just need to work on where we are lacking, and if the countries start working on it, then surely we can be achieving our goals, and especially the what we call sustainable development that can be achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, because this ranking report is always very important and good behavior or good best practice to be followed by other countries. So maybe the top countries will support mentoring system maybe to be followed. You all aware that AICT having the mentoring system. Maybe that mentoring system, some country has to be take the that is a low performance country, so that they collaborate together. Some part of actions to be done, even though there is a lot of UN-based United Nations high-level political forum is there. And regarding SDG, lot of activities are. If you search it in the Google, lot of the Act for SDG, Sustainable Development Law Council, like that, lot of organizations are working together. But even though somewhere something is there, gap is there. That is the reason, because this ranking says that only 17% is the we can't able to believe that percentage. Then why we are talking like this? How to achieve 17%? Another 5 years, how to achieve the remaining 83? See, it is very impossible. So that is the question mark. But anyway, we all collectively together to support, so that in future there is a possibility that we can. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your short notice preparation, ma'am. Thank you so much. So now I would like to welcome our next session. So that is 167 country SDG Index Performance 2025. A comparative analysis with insights by Aijan Ishrat Mirshana ma'am and Aijan Kavita ma'am. So about Aijan Ishrat Mira Mirshana ma'am. Madam is the head for Aijan Environment 2025. And she is the professor, Mufa Khan Jah College of Engineering and Technology, and she is the various role past secretary of IEA, Institution of Engineering and Technology, and she was involved in that is the Engineer Without Border activities. Welcome, ma'am. And I would like to welcome Dr. Kavita, yes, ma'am, and head Aijan Oijan Army, and professor at Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute. Madam also leading lot of activities with Madam initiative. Aijan published 4 patents and in the progress for next 9 patents. Welcome, ma'am, to start your conversation.
Sir, can you permit me to start my video?
Yes, ma'am. Why always your video is coming like that? Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So greetings. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
Greetings from Aijan. I am Dr. Kavita, head of Aijan Young Green Innovators Army. So first of all, I'd like to thank Aijan President, Dr. Ramesh sir, and all the Aijan directors for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Now, today we are going to discuss about the special session on the Sustainable Development Goal Index Report 2025. There are nearly 167 countries. Among 167 countries, we are going to discuss about the top rated SDG Index Performance 2025. We are going to give a insights on the comparative analysis for the top rated, then middle, then low rated SDG Index Performance 2025. Today we stand a decade since the adoption of SDGs. Progress remains uneven across the globe. Let's begin by examining how various countries are currently positioned.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, Dr. Kavita. Let us start with the top rated one, that is the Finland country. It tops the SDG index again this year also. And this we can say because it has its critical goals like no poverty, good health, quality education, clean energy, and innovation. It is excelling in this. The major contributors for its attainment of SDGs are universal services, strong R&D, and robust urban sustainability. These are the contributors which is making Finland the topmost in SDG index. Do you agree with me?
Definitely, ma'am, exactly. But even Finland faces a lot of challenges. For example, despite strong clean energy systems, Finland struggle with the high carbon dioxide emission and waste generation, and still has to do work in reducing the inequalities and promoting the responsible consumption.
True. That means even Finland faces challenges. So let us look into other SDGs like the health. So moving with respect to it, Germany ranks high with strong health, with a life expectancy of 81.4 years and an universal health coverage scores 88. They spend 3.1% of GDP on R&D with an impressive patent activity. But inequality persists with a Gini coefficient of 32.4 and a gender wage gap of 14.2%, which is an alarming one.
100% true, ma'am. Actually, Sweden shows a similar trends with outstanding health and education indicators, with a life expectancy of 83.3 years and a maternal mortality rate of just 4 per 1 lakh. But women hold nearly 45% of seats in parliament. But there is a gap remains in this sustainable consumption. Do you agree with me?
Yes, true. When we are talking about women are occupying 45% of seats in parliament, will be though there is a progress, we can see that if there is no awareness about sustainable consumption, it will lead to the poverty. But when we talk about poverty, Denmark has a remarkable statistics that the poverty is almost eradicated in Denmark, which is standing to 0.2%, and 100% of its population has an access to clean water and energy. But even Denmark struggles with its electronic wastage, which is almost 8.8 kgs per capita. Thereby, it has high air pollutions from inputs. So you can see that though the poverty is eradicated, but this air pollution can lead to the health issues. So all this have to be taken care of.
Really interesting, ma'am. Actually, now we have seen about the top rated countries. Now, let's come to this middle rated countries, because now let us start with the Saudi Arabia. It's a really fascinating case.
True. When we talk about Saudi Arabia, it provides 100% internet access and about 169 mobile broadband subscriptions per 100 people, full basic facilities, and almost 98.7% have safe drinking water coverage. Education is also strong over there with 97.7% primary enrollment and 99% youth literacy. But at the same time, we could observe that the CO2 emissions are very high at 20.1 tons per capita. And the renewable energies are still just 0.1%, wherein it has very high potential to switch over for renewable energy sources because it has the highest solar irradiation and also wind energy and all those things. But still, the renewable energies are very low over Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly what you said is right, ma'am. Yeah, that's carbon dioxide emission is very, very high, and nearly it is 20.1 ton per capita. But when you when you look at the other side, and the social gap remained only 19.9%. The parliamentary seats, it was held by women, and obesity is also very high, and at the rate of 40.6%. Do you agree with this, ma'am?
Yes, I do agree that this women encouragement or the gender diversity is also there, and the health issue, that is obesity, is a greater issue over there. So looking forward from Saudi Arabia to Malaysia, which shows a mixed progress, like almost universal internet and broadband, strong healthcare with low maternal mortality of 26.4 per 1 lakh, and under 5 mortality, that is 8.1 per thousand. But here also the same issue, that is CO2 emissions are high at 8.5 tons per capita, and the women hold only 13.5% of parliamentary seat. So we can see that in the Middle East, or I say Middle, it's the gender inequality that is coming stronger compared to the universal conditions, health conditions, or access to digital world. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, it's true, ma'am. We have seen the details, that is carbon dioxide emission is also very high in Malaysia, that is the Middle East, middle-rated countries, whereas the women also is holding only 13.5%, that is gender inequality is there. So we have to take care of that also. But if you take in United Arab Emirates, UAE countries like that, the digital connectivity is also outstanding. They are having this 100% internet access and 211.7 mobile subscriptions per 100 people. So gender parity in parliament, it has been achieved at 50%, but environmental stress is alarming. It is particulate matter, 2.5 at 51.2 microgram per meter cube. And the carbon dioxide emission is also at the rate of 24.2 ton per capita.
True, very true. So that means once we are overcoming the gender diversity, then again the pollution is the alarming one. But when we talk about this, it's not just the CO2 emissions. When we talk about the countries like Vietnam and Singapore, they highlight a sharp contrast, because Singapore boasts world-class digital access and education, yet is suffering with an imported emissions as high as at 20.1 tons per capita. And the nitrogen pollution, till now we were discussing only about CO2 emissions, but for the countries like Vietnam and Singapore, it's the nitrogen pollution which is significant at 148 kgs per capita. So this is the state of middle-rated countries. What do you think? What will be the state of low-rated countries?
Yes. Now it's really amazing. As we have seen about the middle-rated countries, that is Vietnam and Singapore is having a high nitrogen pollution is about 148 kg per capita. And also the carbon CO2 emission is also very high, the rate of 20 ton per capita. But now coming to this low-rated countries, we are taking this Afghanistan, for example. The Sustainable Development Goals score is about 49.1, with a maternal mortality over 520 per 1 lakh. And only 17.7% are using this, having his internet access.
Yeah, when you are talking about Afghanistan, which is having topping from bottom, let me put across that in Nigeria, nearly 50% of urban population lives in slums with severe health challenges, maternal mortality of 92 per 1 lakh, and under 5 mortality at 104.9 per thousand. So we can see that it's not just about the having the digitalization or something, but the living conditions, the environment which pose the health challenges is a matter of concern in Nigeria. Yeah, over to you, Kavita ji.
Exactly, yeah. So these, there's a Nigeria. These are the realities. They remind us that SDGs demand targeted action. So, and fairer financing and stronger governance. So we must bridge a gap not only in basic services, but in innovation, gender parity, and climate action. So we have to take care of all these things also.
Very true. So let's use today's discussion as an opportunity to learn, exchange ideas, and explore solutions that can keep the SDGs relevant and actionable for all nations, be it from Finland to Afghanistan. Thank you everyone for joining for this thing. And let's hear from the expert teams and audience and work together to chart the path ahead. Over to you, Ramesh sir. Thank you so much for this
Thank you so much.
opportunity.
Madam, thank you. It was very wonderful data interpretation. So we can't able to rightly you pointed out we can't able to the span of 10 minutes. It is very difficult to find out all the 167 countries in which you pointed out into the middle level income countries, low level income countries, and the high level income countries. And based on the performance, and you come out with the index performance report which you had discussed, which you are talking about. You rightly told only 17% only internet access is there. So this kind of that is an enormous comparative changes is there. So that all we need to work together, so that only we can able to collectively we can able to achieve the SDG goals. So it means that parallelly, it is not mandatory all the goals to be achieved, but some part of the goals to be very strong with respect to the some countries. Then only it is possible that we can 2020 almost this 17 percentage we can able to improve to some kind of good percentage like that. So thank you so much, ma'am. And now we have discussed the country wise performance, but sorry, but we can't able to give all the essence. So they find out all and consolidated all, and we are now going to the next, that is we can come out with the continental based SDG index trends, how the trends are there based on the continental based for 2025 with the retro perspective insights. Here we are having three speakers, that is Aijan Tanuja, Aijan Anuradha, and Aijan Mageshwari. So the Aijan Tanuja madam is the head for Aijan Patent 99 and the professor at Sri Sai Ram Engineering College. And Dr. Anuradha madam, head Aijan Patent 99 and professor at KCG College of Technology. And Aijan Mageshwari, Dr. Mageshwari, head Aijan minus CO2 and professor at Sri Sai Ram Engineering College. Welcome, ma'am.
So, very happy evening to all the dignitaries. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Continue.
Yeah. Very nice. Happy to see you all. I'm very much delighted to introduce my esteemed co-speakers for today's session. First, we have Dr. Anuradha, an insightful academician, policy enthusiast, and whose analytical perspectives bring clarity to complex development data. She will be focusing on the SDG track of underdeveloped countries and shedding lights on the region challenges and progressive strides in achieving the sustainable development goals. Joining us next is Dr. Mageshwari, a dynamic researcher and sustainability advocate who will be presenting the developed countries. Her expertise lies in the comparative development indicators, and she will walk us through how various SDG metrics and addressing emerging gaps. So myself, Dr. Tanuja, working on various SDG actions. Together, we aim to provide a comprehensive continent-wise analysis of the SDG index performance, highlighting patterns, progress, and the way forward.
Yes, Tanuja ma'am, before we open the floor for the discussion, do you know in 2025, 190 out of 193 UN member states have participated in the Voluntary National Review, that is VNR process, and presented national action plans for advancing sustainable development. It proves that strong commitment to the SDG across the globe. Also, this year's SDG introduced a streamlined SDG index, which uses 17 headline indicators, one per SDG, to track the overall SDG progress and minimize the statistical biases due to the missing time series data. Due to this, 167 countries are ranked in the SDG index out of 190 countries participated this year. This year, the participation is very high, except for Haiti, Myanmar, and United States. All other United Nations member states have participated in the review, in the process. Then SDG report to 2025 ranked the progress in SDG region-wise as well as income group-wise. Region-wise, it is divided into Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America and Caribbean, East and South Asia, BRICS plus members, Middle East and North Africa, Eastern Europe and Central Asia, Eastern Europe and Central Asia, and OECD countries. Income group wise, they have divided into low income countries, lower middle income, upper middle income countries, as well as higher income countries. Tanuja?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anuradha, for detailing about the SDG rankings. It's great to hear. The Sustainable Development Goals have come a long way since 2015, and over the last 5 years, Asia has truly picked up pace. If you look at the SDG index trends from 2020 to 2025, Asia has been fastest moving region globally, taking countries like Nepal, which jumped 11.1 plus points, Bangladesh with 8.3 plus, and India now scoring 66.95. And of course, China ranks 49, leading infrastructure, energy, and digital access. But the journey is not smooth across the globe. South and East Asia are clearly ahead, while Central and Western Asia slow down by debt, conflict, and environmental stress. Also, we still face data gaps, especially for climate action, SDG 13, and policy alignment, SDG 17. And let's not ignore urban challenges too: inequality, pollutions, and unsustainable growth models. Still, the takeaway is encouraging. So moving ahead, uh, where youth were engaged, where governments align policies, and where investment is focused, progress is accelerating. But now the speed needs to be matched by the sustainability and fairness.
Well said, Tanuja. Listening to the Asia's progress is inspiring, but the underdeveloped countries in like Africa, the reality is still a difficult one, though with the sparks of hope. The truth is, sub-Saharan Africa still holds the lowest SDG index across globally. Countries like South Sudan and Chad face serious struggles: poverty, hunger, water access, especially SDGs 1, 2, and 6. But there are also a bright spots. Rwanda now at 62.31 and Ben jumped by plus 14.5 points. These are the powerful examples of how governance reforms, the healthcare reforms and healthcare investments can really pay off. Still, the challenges run deep. Debt burdens prevent critical SDG investments. Climate vulnerability is real, like droughts, floods, and health crises repeatedly reverse our progress. And there is a data problem. Many nations still lack indicators for SDG 5, violence against women, and SDG 13. But despite this, the resilience of the people, the youth population, and the growing spirit of community innovation are reasons for the hope. What we need now is a real global support, not just in words, but in funding, tech access, and fair systems. Maheshwari ma'am?
Thank you, Dr. Anuradha ma'am. And I agree, the potential in Africa and the pace in Asia are truly noteworthy. Now, if we look at Europe and North America, the picture is quite different. The region still leads in rankings. Finland tops the SDG index with 87.02, followed by Sweden and Denmark. The European Union, the average is around 80, which looks so strong. But Eastern Europe is notably behind the Western countries. In North America, Canada, they remain steady at a rank 25 with the SDG index of 79.17. but the United States is down at rank 44 with the SDG index of 75.19. What's more alarming, the United States ranks 193rd in the multilateralism, mainly due to past policy shifts like withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. Another key issue is negative spillover. Rich countries may score well domestically, but they export environmental and social cost through unsustainable supply chains. We are also seeing the stagnation in key areas like climate action, SDG 13, and responsible consumption, SDG 12. So while we lead in the numbers, we now need to lead in responsibility. It's not enough to perform well at home alone. We need to ensure that our global impact is just as sustainable.
Exactly, Dr. Mageshwari. The data shows that no matter the continent, we all have blind spots. Asia needs to ensure inclusivity, Africa needs financing and data, and the West needs to rethink in role in global equity. So, while seeing the database, we come to know the African country that is about, as Dr. Anuradha said, that the ranking is around 50 to 57. They are struggling with the SDG 1, 2, 3, and 6, but making strides in SDG 7 and 13 in some countries. Coming to the Latin America and Caribbean countries, the ranking is about 58 to 64. There are progress in SDG 5 and 7, but challenges in SDG 10 and 16. So this wide gap we are able to see. So what about Dr. Anuradha ma'am?
That's true, ma'am. That's true. And if we want to meet that 2030 agenda, we have to stop thinking in silos, north, south, east, west, and start acting as one interconnected planet. Aishwari, ma'am, what do you say?
Yes. Well said, ma'am. Well said. I just want to say some few things about our continents also. While we talk about the Asia Pacific region, East and South Asia, they lead the global SDG progress, even from 2015. When we look upon the goal from 7 to 9, which is clean energy, economic growth and jobs, and infrastructure, industry, and innovation. And when we talk about the clean energy, electricity access, and renewable, actually India has jumped from 51 to 96 rank. And when we talk about the water and sanitation and the waste treatment, I think we are improving in this part. While we come across to the European and North American, the region is they have very strong towards the goal number infrastructure, that is 9, 11 sustainable cities. But when it comes around to the consumption, that is goal number 12, again, there is a weaker part in that. So SDGs were never meant to be a scoreboard. They are a shared survival and development agenda. It's time to stop asking who is ahead and start asking how we can move forward together. Thanks to Dr. Tanuja ma'am and Dr. Anuradha ma'am. To sum up, Asia is progressing rapidly, but must address internal disparities. Africa shows signs of hope, but needs urgent systemic support. Europe and North America, they must have a transition from high scores to high accountability. Let's align, collaborate, and act so that the decade of action fully delivers the global impact.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir, over to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. It was very fantastic conversation, the continent-based discussion, and finally concluded that how we can able to take it forward. Very nice data interpretation, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And now I'd like to invite for our next session, fourth session, that is National Commitment to SDGs and UN Lead Multilateral Initiatives by Aijan Preeta and Aijan Rajeshwari. Dr. Preeta George, she is the head for Aijan Water Bank and professor at Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute. And Dr. Rajeshwari, she is the head for Aijan Minus CO2 project and professor at Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology. Welcome, ma'am, to start your conversation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Rajeshwari, and today we have a discussion about commitment to SDGs and UN leadership multilateralism. In our world, facing many complex challenges from climate change to inequality, no country can go it alone. The SDGs offer a global roadmap, and multilateralism ensures we work.
Thank you, Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am. Rajeshwari ma'am, hope you are in. Yes, ma'am. I am Dr. Preeta George, and I am delighted to have Dr. Rajeshwari on board today. And today we are tackling a subject that's not just about policy, but about the future of humanity itself, the commitment of countries to the Sustainable Development Goals and to UN-based multilateralism. Dr. Rajeshwari, are you there?
Ma'am, I think Madam network some issue. If we can ask Madam to rejoin. She will join, ma'am.
Okay, okay, sir. So in the meantime, I am thankful to Dr. Ramesh sir for giving me this opportunity. And within a couple of days, you made us to read 15 pages for my topic alone. And I think we have prepared for this and taken the inputs of the SDG index report. Yes.
Rajeshwari ma'am, can you able to hear, ma'am? Ma'am,
she's there inside, sir, but I am not.
But some issue is there. Ma'am, you can start continuing, ma'am, so that she will come and join.
Yes, sir. And so we are going to talk about commitment to SDGs and UN-based multilateralism. And this topic, about this topic, if you are telling, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Yes, Rajiv, ma'am, are you okay? Can we start?
Ma'am, you can remove the headphone, ma'am, so that only it is comfortable. Okay, ma'am.
I think, sorry, she's not hearing. Rajeshwari, ma'am.
Rajeshwari, ma'am. Ma'am, you can remove the headphone, ma'am. Headphone you can remove and talk. Madam, I think your internet is problem, ma'am. You can switch off the video so that it is good, ma'am. You can switch off the video, ma'am.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yes, ma'am. We will start, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can talk about the voluntary national review, who is reporting and who is missing.
Preeta, ma'am, can
you can.
Yeah, ma'am.
You can, your net, I think, issue, ma'am. Preeta, ma'am, you will continue, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So the timing couldn't be more perfect. And by the next year in 2025, we will be marking two major milestones: 10 years since the SDGs were adopted and 80 years since the United Nations was founded. These anniversaries remind us that global cooperation is not just a diplomatic ideal, it's a lifeline for solving the world's biggest challenges, from poverty and inequality to climate change and conflict. And if we look on how countries are reporting their progress, and we find something really fascinating. As of this July 2025, 190 United Nations member states, that's almost the entire world, have participated in what's known as voluntary national review process. And about the voluntary national process, just before that, Dr. Anuradha has spoke on this VNR process. And these reviews are like countries writing their own report cards on how they are performing on the SDGs. And this is a remarkable process, but there is a significant detail here. Despite such a high participation, there are still three countries that have not submitted a single VNR: Haiti, Myanmar, and United States. The absence of the United States is quite alarming and striking to all of us, given its global, since it has a big global leadership role. However, it's heartening to see that New York City at least stepped up and submitted a voluntary local review, becoming the first city to the world to do so. That shows how leadership can happen at the local level even when national governments lag behind. And coming for the next segment, we are talking about the United Nations Multilateralism Index, or UNMI. It is a new scorecard for global commitment. And it's a new fascinating new tool called the United Nations Multilateralism Index, or UNMI, is officially released in 2025. And this index tries to quantify how committed the countries are working together towards the progress of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It looks at 6 important factors, from the treaty ratification to financial contributions. And this is where we really start to see some difference between the nations. And it's the United Nations multilateralism looks like ratification of the major United Nations treaties, voting alignment at the United Nations General Assembly, membership in United Nations agencies, and the level of the militarization or conflict involvement, use of unilateral coercive measures, and financial contributions to the United Nations and solidarity funds. It's so important. These 6 parameters are very important, and it helps us to show where all these countries stands. And it is like a scorecard of how the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, how these countries are performing well with. And talking about this, the first parameter, ratification of the United Treaties, and who's...
Ma'am, can I join with you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can.
Thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because of the bandwidth, I was listening you. Let's begin with the first United Nation
yes, ma'am.
ratification
yes,
of UN treaties. Let's begin with the ratification of UN treaties among major economies, countries like Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Italy, Mexico, and even United Kingdom have ratified over 90% of major UN treaties. That's a strong signal of their commitment to global norms and cooperation.
Yes, Dr. Rajeshri, it sounds definitely encouraging and overwhelming. But there is another one side. Some significant countries like Indonesia, Saudi Arabia have ratified fewer than 75% of the major treaties. And the US stands out even more starkly, having ratified less than 60%. And just this year, the US withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement again, which is a little bit worrying when climate emergencies are intensifying worldwide. Dr. Rajeshwari? So coming to the next point or the next segment, we are talking about the voting at the United Nations General Assembly. Are the countries the team players? Now, let's look at how countries vote at the United Nations General Assembly. On an average, nations align with the international majority around 76% of the time, which suggests a decent level of global consensus on major issues. And some countries even go further. Argentina, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Mexico, South Africa, and even Saudi Arabia vote with the majority over 80% of the time. This reflects a strong willingness to cooperate and support global decisions. Rajeshri ma'am, are you there? But there are significant outliers. Israel aligns with the majority only about 26% of the time, while the US, which is used to vote with the majority in the 1950s, has dropped to just around 30% since 1980s. This suggests a more dependent, sometimes even oppositional stance in the global decision making. And if we talk about the membership in United Nations agencies, and if we look on who stays in and who drops out, and we find that most of the large countries or the big game players are part of around 24 key United Nations organizations. However, there are some notable gaps. Argentina has left the World Health Organization. Australia is not part of the UNIDO. UNIDO is the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. France left UNIDO years ago, and Russia is not a member of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. And once again, the US stands out, having withdrawn from both UNIDO and WHO just this year. This is really alarming and concerning because these organizations plays critical roles, especially in the crisis of the pandemic or the economic recoveries. When major power pulls out, it weakens the global system's ability to respond to emergencies. And coming to the next segment, segment 6, conflict and militarization, who is peaceful and who is not. Let's now look at the conflict involvement and militarization among the nations. And the United Nations Charter of 1945 calls on nations to promote peace and avoid excessive military buildup. And some countries are indeed models of the peaceful policies. Nations like Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Indonesia, Mexico, and the Philippines rank among the least militarized. On the opposite side, Russia ranks lowest due to its significant military spending and ongoing conflicts. This is crucial because resources spent on the military could instead fund education, health, and development. And talking about the unilateral coercive measures, who is playing solo, and it is an important factor. Multilateralism is the use of the unilateral coercive measures, sanctions, or restrictions imposed without the approval of the United Nations. Only a few countries relies on such measures heavily, while the US leading the list, followed by some European nations. While these actions might be taken in the name of the human rights or security, they often undermine global cooperation and unintentionally harm civilians more than governments. And they become the tools of the political pressure rather than true multilateral solutions, potentially deepening divisions among the nations. And finally, the financial contributions to the UN budget. Financial contributions are a strong indicator of commitment to the multilateralism. Between 2020 and 2024, only 21 countries consistently paid their UN dues on time. That's quite a small number when you consider how many nations depend on the United Nations work. And delays from the major contributors seriously threaten the United Nations' ability to operate, whether it's responding to natural disasters, supporting development projects, or maintaining peacekeeping forces. Solidarity is not just about giving speeches. It's about making sure the United Nations has the money it needs to function all about. So when we look across all 6 indicators, the United Nations Multilateralism Index, the picture is mixed. Countries like Argentina, Canada, Japan are getting strong examples, actively supporting the treaties, participating in the United Nations bodies, but voting with the majority and contributing financially. Meanwhile, the US and Russia show significant gaps, either by withdrawing from the treaties using unilateral measures or delaying the financial payments. And it shows that even as we made the progress, there is still a long way ahead for true global cooperation. The challenges we face, from the climate change to the global health threats, are simply too vast for the country to handle it alone. And let me conclude that we will dive into the how the society, civil, youth, academia can strengthen the multilateralism, and strengthening the UN-based multilateralism is very essential to drive global action and ensure no one is left behind, which is the target of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you,
Exactly,
sir.
exactly, Preetham, what you said is right. Sorry, my bandwidth is poor. These the discussion what you have said is will brings an awareness and like spark discussions may even encourage the government and the citizens like to push for strong multilateral cooperation. I think so. So this will be a good initiative. Thank you for the opportunity, and I very much apologize for the bandwidth disconnection.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It all happens, ma'am. Many times for all. Okay, so thank you, ma'am, Preeta ma'am and Rajeshwari, for the national commitment to SDGs and even led multilateral initiative, because one side we are talking about the ranking, another side of this multilateral initiatives to be there, because how the data are monitored. Based on that, it is we have to do major focus on that to get committed. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And finally, we come to the end. That is India Sustainable Development Goal Index. What is about India's report, progress and insights by Aijan Sagira and Aijan Lakshmi, madam. And so the Dr. Sagira, madam, is the head for Aijan Energy 99 Challenge project, and she is from the professor at B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. And welcome, ma'am, and welcome Dr. D. Lakshmi, head Aijan NSAVE Club, ma'am from Amit University, Chennai. Welcome, ma'am, for your conversation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for let's diagram, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for a brief introduction. So we are happy to join this debate session. So it's a very advanced and must-need session with this SDG goals. So here we are to discuss about India's SDG and index for past 5 years. So all the panelists have already discussed about continental countries, and then now we, Lakshmi ma'am and myself, are going to discuss about the report on India. So welcome to this panel discussion on India's journey with the Sustainable Development Goals over past 5 years. So Dr. Lakshmi ma'am, Professor, Department of EEE, Amit University. So here with me for discussion. So I am excited to reflect on the nation's SDG with you today, ma'am. So you can start.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction. I thank the President, Dr. L. Ramesh sir, for giving us an opportunity for this debate. Dr. Zaira ma'am, who is going to debate with me about India, the SDGs, is an associate professor from Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. Yes, ma'am, it's a vital conversation. Despite global disruptions like the pandemic, India has demonstrated remarkable resilience in aligning its development goals with SDG. The SDG index developed by National Institution for Transforming India reflects a steady rise. That is from in 2018, it is 57. Now it has been raised to 71. Ma'am?
Yes, so that's a significant rise, ma'am. So nearly we have improved nearly 14 points, and also notable in India's global positioning. We are climbed to 99th position from 109th position within 2 years, ma'am. So it is indexed by SDG Index 2025. So we can move on, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, what you are saying is right, ma'am. The progress is mainly because of clean energy, climate action, and poverty reduction, which are standing out. But we are also seeing a continued challenges, mainly in gender equality, inequality, and urban sustainability. These are to be very much considered.
Yeah. So nearly we are having 17 goals as all the panelists are discussing. So here we are going to explore all the goals with respect to India. So we are here starting with SDG 1, no poverty, which shows major improvement. So score up from 60 to 72. So it's a multi-dimensional poverty dropped from 24.8% to 14.96% from 2015 to 2020-21. So initiatives like Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, Jandan and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005 where 99.7% of job seekers got the work. So this scheme has played a vital role. So what do you think about it, ma'am?
Yes, true, ma'am. What you are saying is true. But in SDG 2, zero hunger, in which we are very, very lagging. Despite of 99.01%, as per the National Food Security Act coverage, is increased from 2,995 to 3,052 kg per head. So malnutrition and nourishment children are remaining the main concern under this SDG 2.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, correct. So zero hunger is increasing, but when you are going for SDG 3, good health, we have seen a good improvement in maternal health. So maternal mortality rate is decreased from 130 per lakhs live birth in 2014 to 16 to 97 in 2018 to 20. So with a further reduction to 93 in 2019 to 21. So the decline is linked to government programs like Pradhan Mantri Suraksha scheme and other aim to improve maternal and child health. So child immunization is over 93% and institutional deliveries are at 97%. So yet the rural health infrastructure is still under pressure. So can this lead to a quality education, ma'am?
Yeah, on STG 4, there is a quality education which you are asking. The enrollment is very, very high, ma'am, 96.5%, given by the adjustment net enrollment rate. And 100% gender parity in education, higher education is given. But digital learning access remains unequal, especially after the post-COVID. So, which we have to take into consideration and we have to take necessary steps against that.
So even if you have a good health and quality education, ma'am, so there is a issue going on with gender equality.
Yes,
So
yes,
next we
ma'am.
are moving on with the SDG 5, gender equality. So continues to be one of lowest scoring goals at 49. So with the female labor force participating rate at around 30% and ongoing issue in safety and leadership representation, we have a serious reforms to address, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Indeed, what you are saying is right, ma'am. While we are processing in SDG 7, clean water and sanitation is encouraging, as we have already discussed. It is encouraging around 99.28 of rural homes now access the improved water resources, and 94.7% of schools have functioned girls' toilets, which was not available in those days, but it is going on increasing now. However, the water quality and sustainability, till we have to need some focus against that.
So yes, ma'am, it's correct. So when you are focusing on clean water and sanitation, so there is another highlightable issues, affordable and clean energy, which is our sustainable development goal 7. So as a electrical engineer, so we have to concentrate on this. So electrification is near universal. Clean cooking access is about 96.35% and solar and wind capacities are accelerating. So score has crossed around 90%, ma'am. So
Yes, ma'am. Very happy to hear. But under STG 8, decent work, unemployment, which is falling from 6 point, previously it was 6.2, now it is 3.4, and the participation rose to 61.6%. Yet we have an informal employment, and underemployment remains also is also remaining to be persistent.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So since the unemployment rate is decreasing from 6.2 to 3.4, so yet we are moving on for SDG 9 for the advancement. So it is linked with industry, innovation and infrastructure. So it has grown with the digital public infrastructure from 93.3% of households have mobile phones, but India's R&D investment is very low. So just 0.7% of GDP, which limits this technology innovations, ma'am.
What you are saying is right, ma'am. When we go for STG 10, reduced inequality, that is, it has set its score drop from 67 to 65, only a minimal amount, which you have to take into consideration. Sexual inequalities, caste-based gap, and digital debates are still a big challenge, inclusive of, even though we are having many developments, and these are we have to focus on and we have to get the more score drop.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Agreed to your points, ma'am. So we have seen all the 10 points, but now the major point is about sustainable cities. So the score is jumped to 83 with 78.46% of urban waste processed. So, but air quality, traffic, and affordable housing needs urgent intervention, ma'am. So it is affecting this pollution in the cities.
Yes, ma'am. Based on that, if you go for SDG 12, responsible consumption, which is still evolving, 91.5 biomedical waste is being treated and 55% of hazardous wastage is being recycled. But awareness of these sustainable practices are still remaining a very lower value. So this we have to take into consideration.
Yes, ma'am. So all the sustainable development goals are developed to save the mother earth as well as the benefit of human beings, ma'am. So as we have to save our mother earth, we are going for SDG 13, which is about climate action. So it is having an increasing significant. So all the devices what we are using is creating pollution and so that's why we are moving from a conventional vehicle to electric vehicle as well as from we are moving from non-renewable energy to renewable energy to reduce the carbon emissions, so which is going to protect our mother earth. So the index for this climate action is for 54 to 67, and our renewable energy share is around 43.3%. And flagship programs like National Green Hydrogen Mission and EV push are showing early success, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So if you go towards the SDG 14, life below water, which is very, very essential under this situation, as we all know, many creatures under the water are being destroyed. So we have to take steps against that. The life on the land has been, we have seen a moderate progress in that. So forest covers and the carbon stock grew by 1.11%, but the data gap and the ecosystem are going degraded, especially the coastal, which we have to mainly concern about that. So severe action has to be taken under that. If we are not taking means, it will be the life below the water, creations will be going on destroying. So that we have to take into consideration, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So we as a human being are waiting for earth protection, but they are also the living beings, the life under the water. So we have to take care of that. So, and then the next goal is linked with the SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutional, which plays a vital role with improved in e-governance. So this is a major role nowadays. We are having wars and other things taking place. So we have to concentrate on this SDG 16. So Aadhaar covers 95.5% and birth registration is at 89%. So however, judicial delays and privacy issues are going on, ma'am, for this creation of Aadhaar. So theft of fingerprints and all the cyber crimes are taking place with this. And also the SDG 16 is covering on the peace and justice. So we have to concentrate on that also. So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is
We have to
ma'am,
take
for
consideration. And finally, we are in the last goal, SDG 17, partnership. So we see under partnership, India is globally connected. It is global engagement with, especially through G20, ISA, and the South-South Corporation initiatives. Like this, so many partnerships India is making in progress.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Correct, ma'am. The scaling partnership sorry, we are having a domestic resources mobilization and blending financing are critical to sustainable development efforts, ma'am. So what are the actionable priorities for next 5 years, ma'am? So SDG monitoring at district or block levels with local data, or gender responsible budgeting across the ministries, or we can go for climate adaptation finance and tech driven last mile access standout. So what is your opinion on this, ma'am, for next 5 years?
Agreed, ma'am. What you were saying is very agreeable one. For the next 5 years are very, very crucial, ma'am. India needs to localize the SDG monitoring at the district and the block level. In small region level, it has to be taken into consideration. So SDG, we all talk, but local people, what I am saying is district people, they have to, there is a uneducated people also should know how to protect our earth, like that, how to make a clean water, and how to make the sea and also without any pollution, like that. They have to see. And
madam, it
we
means
have to
that
promote the
140
gender
people.
response.
No, it means that 140 crore people in India will select their favorite goal. That is the only objective. They have to select their favorite goal, and
Yes,
they have
sir.
to do
What you
some
are saying is
action on
right,
that
sir.
particular favorite goal.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And the main thing is you have to promote the gender responsive, and the equity should be focused for budgeting. And we can see in the third point, we can say that a scale up of climate adaptation investments, where by going for the infrastructure and all, we have to make the climate adaptable investments. That is going towards the alternative resources instead of using the fossil fuels. Like that, we have to step into the usage of alternative fuels and renewable, seeking the nature, using the nature resources. And finally, we can ensure the inclusive access through digital and community solutions. By this, we can make our India to be promoted in the next 5 years towards the SDG goals, ma'am. I think so.
Correct, ma'am. So, as a educationalist from research perspectives, also we can move on, ma'am. We need an evaluation of what works and disaggregated by gender, region, and income. And from a policy standpoint, so budgets and incentives to reward sustainable development outcomes can be given, ma'am. So we have to concentrate on research perspective also to develop all this 17 goals, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What you are saying is 100% agreed, ma'am. We must also empower the local governments, which I have already told. Local governments with some funding and capacities, and giving the audit. Everything should be transparent. And the urban local bodies, panchayat, municipal corporation, and also we must do so equitable, and especially for marginalized communities. So thereby we can make our India to achieve the SDG goals.
Yes, in short, India's SDG journey is promising, ma'am. So strong in energy, health, digital connectivity. It required deliberate efforts where Deflix remains. So next 5 years being a bold, integrated, and systematic actions, ma'am. So we have to take actions on the other SDG goals, which is lagging.
Well said, Zagira ma'am. Well said. Yeah, refreshed system should be is our mindset. So interlinking the poverty reduction with the climate resilience, education with the health, and urban planning with the greener infrastructure, with all this chain, each and every SDG is connected with one, which connected by is a open, that is a loop. All the 17 goals are forming a loop. So we can get a refreshed system mindset by interlinking the poverty reduction with the climate resilience, education with health, and urban planning with the green infrastructure, which they keep towards a forward direction, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. We had a very deep insight exchange of knowledge about India report index, which is given by Nidhi Aayog Yojana. So thank you, Lakshmi ma'am, for joining with me in this session. So we had a very good discussion. I think participants
Thank you,
also
ma'am. Thank
enjoyed
you so
this.
much. Let us see these insights to drive policy, practice, and progress. The road to 2030 is a challenging, but India has a potential and the purpose to reach it. Thank you, Ramesh sir, for giving us an opportunity. Thank you, Zagira ma'am, for being with me for this debate.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It
sir.
was very deep, very deep discussion between you about the India progress, and we all are happy that India progressing in a good way. And happy note that so SDG 7 2028 we are going to achieve. That is what the target fixed by the government. Actually, it has to be achieved by 2030, but the present progress, what it is going, it is expected to be achieved by 2028. It means that 70% of the renewable, 70% of our energy mix to be converted to the renewable. That is the one part of the target. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now it is coming for the end, and before going to the concluding remarks, we will have a question session. So the dear participants, you can put your questions so that we can our experts can able to answer. Davish, Davish, you can check any questions are there. You can, dear participants, you can post your questions. So in the chat box, so that our team is watching there and they will bring with respect to that. In the meantime, we can invite give some 1 minute session 1 minute talk for our directors and our IGEN volunteers, those who are present here. I would like to invite Gogul. Are you here, Gogul? Gogul? Okay, now I would like to invite Sendil, Dr. Sendil. Sendil, sir? Okay. So,
good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. So your 1 minute note for this.
So from this discuss, very good evening to one and all. Everywhere discussed about the SDG only, Sustainable Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goal, everyone discussed about things and how many of them implemented that thing, how many of them progressing, carried out follow-ups are there, or we are checking all of things. From this aspect, our IGEN Green has done lot of things, and the members of the team SDG Index Report 2025, from this report, they are checked their thing and verified their thing. Lot of things are discussed and gender equality and power sector side and clean and sanitation and hungers and everything. Lot of things are there. So everything you are also discussed and inside of lot of things. From this SDG index report is a crucial tool for measuring the progress to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. United Nations only playing a major role and they are implementing lot of schemes. From this SDG goal, our India also moving forward only. From 2023 for our index goal is our ranking is 71. 2021 is 66, I think. Some more improvement is there from compared to the previous year record. Our SDG India index is improved compared to 2020, 2021. So the key performers in that SDG index in India is Kerala and Uttarakhand only. They are best performing, and they are both of us are scoring the more than 79 points. From that, Chennai, Tamil Nadu are also discussing a lot of things. But how much of effort they are put that in that SDG indexes, we have to be questions is there. So from this aspect, we want to take care of that and implementing lot of SDG related activities is important and essential that thing. So from this aspect, we want to improve a lot of things. Goals like no poverty, decent work and economic growth and life of land showed significant progress like that. Gender equality and peace, justice and strong institutions require more attention. This kind of things only we need more attention required. From this aspect, we want to do more things. So only we are discussing and only we are doing talking with that meeting and a lot of discussions are doing and everybody is from that. From our IGEN participants and speakers are doing lot of efforts. I appreciated to each and every speaker because last year and previous year and everything I have to monitor and noted that. So universally and globally they are also participated from on behalf of IGEN and getting a very good input from that other peoples also. So IGEN, very good. They are doing very good activities related to the sustainable related activities. So first of all, I congratulate to all the speakers because of that good leadership make the world very in good manner. So our IGEN Ramesh sir, the President Ramesh sir has done a good manner and doing a lot of effort. They have put a lot of effort and coordinating a lot of events. So first of all, I thanks to Ramesh sir and Balamurugan, and then a lot of professors are very much interested. They are also having a more work, but they are also much interested to participate in this event. I happily congratulate to everyone, each and everyone, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And I am very happy to note another very big person who joined very recently with our team. So IGEN is always a volunteer organization. So those who are connected with us all are volunteer. After that, they are elevated as head. Then they will be elevated as the director. Very happy to welcome Professor Pradeep Mukhopatia. Sir is from West Bengal, and sir, you tell little bit about you and what you inspire IGEN, and you can give some essence on this SDG index report, sir. And sir is also now the organizer of IGEN Enviranta.
Sir, I basically am coming from an industrial background. I have more than 30 years of industrial background. So I have been in the academic side for the last 6, 7 years, and I have worked on these green climatic changes and all those things. I have some articles, I have research papers published. Now, I got introduced with your IGEN in the month of April when I got a chance to speak on SDG 11. So I had done some studies on it. Now I got the opportunity. I'm very thankful to Ramesh sir for giving me an opportunity. I have seen the word talkings today. So my one question is that what is India's statewide planning to achieve the overall targets within 2030? Because as I know is that all the states are not doing that particular type of work to achieve the target. Even it is not in India, it is outside also. I have been to African countries. I've seen over there that they are lacking in a lot of things, but obviously they are very rich in minerals and all mineral deposits. But what is for the time being? I just want to ask all the experts: what is India state-wise planning to achieve the overall targets? Is there any state-wise planning for individual state-wise?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, there is a two thing which is going on now. So one is the country-wise overall planning for each particular goal. Niti Aayog is proposing that they have certain plan. Through that, they have how to achieve also it is there. And the state-wise planning also there. Even in Tamil Nadu, we have SDG cell is there. Sustainable Development Goal Coordination Cell is there. So through that cell, rightly pointed out by one of our the expert, maybe in the last Lakshmi ma'am. So it is possible to achieve SDG targets only when it will be deep rooted to the last level, man. So that part actually witnessing Tamil Nadu, they created some the localized SDG cells like that, but not in operation now, but in progress that. But what you rightly pointed out, we need to have a very common strategic plan for our country. So, and there is no compromise that there is no political, there is no, without any political, all state government has to implement the concept, keeping in that mind to achieve the target. So that only it is possible we can able to achieve. But we can't able to achieve 2030. But in progress we can able to do so. But individual commitment, one problem which we felt is the awareness. So people don't know about SDG goal. Even last time when we talked, no, when we selected the speakers, so that time one professor told me that, sir, I am very happy because before I was nominated as speaker, even I don't know the full form of SDG. But now, because of the program, now I am started learning the SDG, and I am now in with all my classes students now aware of SDG. And so this kind of more awareness. And next plan, sir, we need to make like all our students will have favorite hero, favorite heroine, favorite cricketer. So this mindset, same mindset, we can make the students to have even in the school students to have favorite SDG goal. So they all must have favorite SDG goal, and that favorite SDG goal, what is your contribution back to the society? So one part which this is what IGEN is taking forward, and so this part, if you are moving forward, 100% we can able to contribute little bit for the achievement of the SDG goals.
So yes, one thing I have seen is that the awareness towards this from the grassroots level is not that much. Only at present India, this level of awareness is only among the educated society. I mean, who is in the research society or academic society, they know that. Other than this, it's very the level of awareness of regarding this is very poor.
Yes.
And also, I think the government has also not taken that much of all the governments, not the single government. Overall, it is okay. Overall, the state government central government has taken a lot of things. But as far as the state governments are concerned, their target to achieve the overall target is very, very, what should I say, very poor, because even they does not have any proper planning also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That challenging is there. That challenging is there, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
I don't know whether IGEN can propose something to the central government also, that whether to implement just something like 5-year plannings or something like that, so that we can achieve the target within.
Yes, sir. Rightly said, sir. Rightly said. Maybe we can take it this as one of the recommendation. Nice recommendation. We can come out with the at least one action point where the through the government where the commonly which all the people, all the state can able to implement without any political interference. So that will be the good outcome for this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. So before going to the question session, I would like to invite Vasanthi ma'am, Dr. Vasanthi ma'am. Can you able to give little note, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Very good evening to one and all present. The discussions, as I was listening, had lots of inputs, and there was a lot of significant discussions. As rightly said, measuring the outcomes is the right way forward. And also good to know that South India seems to be doing well. In my opinion, I feel that companies should be pulled for giving attention to social entrepreneurship and rural entrepreneurship, because I feel social entrepreneurship by individuals is tough. Whereas when the companies are pulled in, I think the measurements, because measuring the outcomes is definitely the right way. And when we have the companies so showing more responsibility, focusing on this, because you know we need environmental assistance, we need sharing mention, developments, and all incentives and subsidies, access to market, all this is what very much required. Only then.
Okay, I think ma'am having some internet issue. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Davish, you can just put on the questions which you received so that our experts will answer. Yes, Davish.
Good evening, board. So first question is from Mohammad Nizamuddin. So what improvement can our country contribute to meet their need by 2030?
Ma'am, anyone can represent, ma'am? Ishrat ma'am or any experts? You can give your note to them.
Yeah. With respect to India, when we are talking about the progress, if we want to make, the focus should be as such. In the recent report, we have seen that the Mizoram is increasing. The things which we need to see the progress is about goal 1, that is no poverty and the decent work and economic growth. This is where we need to focus. And as such, the climate action, these are the things which need to be focused, because this no poverty and all sustainable goals, everything we are seeing, each of the territories, the top performing institutions, or I can say the states and union territories, with respect to no poverty are Tamil Nadu and union territories, Daman and Diru. So with respect to it, we need to focus. Once the quality education is there, we are all together here because of the education is the key role. So once education doesn't mean only the schooling or something. It is the awareness. If an awareness is created at the grassroots level, then it will help us in achieving the goals. Because with the awareness at the grassroots, innovations can also happen, which will help in sustainable energy technologies development or providing clean water, thereby looking after the good health and all these things. So all
Thank you,
these achievements will be correlated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Davish, next question.
Yes, sir. So next question for the speaker says, if all the fossil fuels were banned overnight, how would the world adapt economically and socially? And what SDG strategies would become essential towards this transition? And question is asked by Mr. John Wilfred Thomas.
Ma'am, any members, experts can answer, ma'am. If complete fossil fuel is burned out, what will happen?
So the answer is now itself we have started using the alternate resources. Partially we are using. Once all these fossil fuels are getting vanished, we will be fully moving on towards the alternate resources such as solar, wind, tidal, biomass, like that. So we cannot say a particular SDG under here. So as we have, while we are debating, we have told about each and every SDG is interconnected. So it goes towards a smart city, clean energy, and then infrastructure, like that. So many SDGs will be interlinked if we fully use 100% of the renewable or alternative resources.
Even I want to add up with Dr. Lakshmi ma'am. Shall I, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
So actually, a complete carbon dioxide reduction will take place, and greenhouse emission gases will be reduced. So, but we can achieve the climate action SDG goal number 13. That is the main problem we are facing. The glaciers melt, something like that. So, the complete vanish of fossil fuels will lead to improve. That is focus on the SDG goal number 13. So this is
Thank you, ma'am.
Point I want to add up here, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And so by concluding, so we had various sessions here. Country ranking, it is represented by the Renuka ma'am and Anju ma'am, and individual country representation by Ishrat and Kavita ma'am, and Continental SDG trends by Dhanuja ma'am, Anuradha ma'am, and Mageshwari ma'am, and national commitment and multilateralism by Dr. Preeta and Rajeshwari, and finally the SDG progress report by Sagira and Lakshmi, and finally what is the takeaway? So the global commitment has to be there, and which all the SDGs not in track, which all the SDGs in track, this has to be very clearly identified. And so here we need to have the SDG 17 need to play a very big role, because out of even 193 members, 190 are having a national action, rightly pointed out by Anuradha ma'am, volunteer national review. So this volunteer national review plays a very major role. Now India is very seriously taking part. VLR, even in future, IGEN volunteers also will be the member of that is a volunteer local review we can do. And East and South Asia lead the globally the SDG since 2015. It is there. Always, it is already pointed out, top performer European nations, and major challenges. Yes, only 17% targets on track, and that is a very major challenge, how to take it forward. Progressed area, access to electricity, mobile broadband, internet use, these are the very target area. And what is the call to actions? It is we can suggest some 10 priority actions to achieve SDG by 2030. One is scale up the investment for the basic service, that is clean water, sanitation, health, education, electricity, and digital connectivity. End extreme poverty and hunger. Accelerate the transition to renewable energy. That is 75% the global energy mix to be there. Strengthen climate action and biodiversity protection. Promote gender equality and empower women. Build sustainable cities and infrastructure. Mobilize fair and adequate financing. All investment, major investment to be in innovation, research, and green technology. Strengthen inclusive institution and governance. And finally, to boost data monitoring and local action. So these are the 10 suggestions, recommendation which we suggest for better achievements of SDG in 2030. Thank you all the participants, those who are watching, and thank you all the speakers, not the speakers, IGEN community and IGEN heads, to be very short notice in prepare all the data analysis, and it was presented here. Thank you all. Now it is over to Davis for a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for moderating the entire session in a marvelous way. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the conclusion of this enlightening and spectacular session in influencing sustainability based upon the SDG Index Report 2025. Please put your hands together in welcoming Mr. Sandeep Kumar to present the vote of thanks.
A very good evening, one and all. Here, myself, Sandeep Kumar, currently serving as a volunteer in the Institution of Green Engineers. At first, I would like to thank the entire management of the Institute of Green Engineers for giving us such a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this event. And next, I would like to thank our beloved President, Dr. L. Ramesh sir, for giving us his marvelous moderation in the entire execution of this show. Next, I would like to thank our Vice President, Dr. Balamurugan sir, our Director, Dr. S. Suresh Sitaraman sir, and all our beloved cluster heads for enlightening this session with your visual keynotes. And next, the entire organizing committee of the Institution of Green Engineers for such a glorious event in the green evening today. At last but not least, I take my immense pleasure in extending heartfelt gratitude to the entire virtual gathering who have witnessed the spectacular SDG Index Report 2025.